If you can tell me your name and what's your role with the festival.
My name is James Hale. I'm the media consultant with the TD Ottawa International Jazz Festival.
How successful do you think this year has been in terms of the lineup and the response you're getting from the people?
In terms of the lineup, I think it's very successful. You know, it always depends on who's on the road at any given time, but the Ottawa Festival, I think the last 2 years has been really successful in getting the best of who's out there. You know, because of the Canadian festivals and the way they run, you try to stagger, the artists try to stagger where they play. So we end up picking up the best of who's playing in Montreal and the best of who's playing in Toronto. In terms of how successful it is in terms of audience turnout, it's kind of early to tell at this point, you know, 3 days in, but certainly the crowds the first two nights of the festival have been very, very strong. We had about 8,500 opening night and about 9,000 the second night. So those are both very good crowds for us for our outdoor venues, and that's not counting the indoor venues as well.
Now, at Kids Talk Radio, we're working on this project to keep the music alive, especially jazz, in the schools. How do you think the Ottawa Jazz Festival is contributing to getting young people involved with jazz and getting enthused about it?
We have a number of things having to do with young people and jazz. So we're sitting here on Saturday afternoon, and over at one of our main venues, the OLG stage, there are high school bands performing all day, and you know, so most of those students, they're senior bands, so most of those students are now right at the end of their high school music career, and it gives them a great venue. I mean, these are kids who have been playing, you know, stage band festivals and things like that, but to be able to play as part of a jazz festival, I know from knowing some of these kids that's a really great place to play, to be part of the festival. We also have the youth summit that runs throughout the festival. That's conducted by Jim Lewis, who's one of the best jazz educators in Canada. And again, it takes the best, you know, most of them are high school students, high school jazz students from across the country, allows them to work on pieces as an ensemble throughout the week, and then gives them a great platform to play in front of a large audience at the end of the week. And they get an experience of working with other musicians their own age, but also working with someone like Jim Lewis and other people who come in to work with them. You know, really first-class jazz educators that gives them a chance to work with.
I know you said you're a media consultant, but since when and how did you get involved with music?
I've been involved in music personally, professionally, since 1977 as a journalist. Writing about jazz, working in radio, working as a producer, working as a programmer, and my main gig these days is I'm the correspondent for Downbeat magazine in Chicago, and also Signal to Noise magazine, which is based in Houston, Texas. And
what do you think, personally, if you were to be advising kids why they should be involved with music, what would be the reasons you give them?
Music is just such a great thing to be involved in. You know, I work with a lot of young people who you know, have studied music in high school or study music at university, and even if they don't go into a music career, it's a great thing to have through your life. I mean, it's a great way to, you know, first of all, it's a great hobby to have. It's a great way to express yourself, and one of the best ways to communicate with people is to play music with them or to play music for them. You know, whether you're just at a party or you know, in a more formal setting, you know, music is just one of the great things to break down barriers across, you know, gender, across races, across languages. You know, if you can sit down and play music with somebody, you have a bond with them that you probably can't get many other ways.
Do you have an anecdote where you think music gave you something that you never forget?
Wow. Well, I mean, playing music, one thing, but I mean, just in terms of knowing people in the music business, knowing especially jazz musicians, because they're improvisers, they tend to be freer thinkers, and just the number of personalities that I've met in the music business, really fascinating people. People like, you know, just to name like well-known people like Wayne Shorter. Just the way Wayne Shorter's brain works he is probably one of the most unique people in the world. And to get a chance to interact with someone like that on a professional level, whether it's just doing an interview with them or even just chatting backstage or something, that's something you can only get through music. I just find that jazz musicians especially have a way of looking at life that is refreshingly different.
Yeah, thank you very much, and we wish you the best of luck with the Ottawa Jazz Festival this year.
Thanks a lot. You're welcome.
And thanks a lot.
All right.